Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary with the Get Some podcast. And my guest this week is...
This motherfucker Gary.
Yo, what up? This is Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. Let me just start off with a big announcement. I know I mentioned it last week, but tickets are now on sale officially. January 17th, Washington, D.C., Lincoln Theater, my new special, No Hard Feelings. We're recording it. So you might want to get some tickets if you want to see the greatest special of all time. Yeah, I'm excited. Shooting this myself, paying for everybody, paying for the cameras, the director, the venue. So let me adjust this. So we'll see what happens. We'll try to sell it, but if not, we'll throw that bad boy on YouTube, cut the clips up like we've been doing, and we'll crush it. So I'm excited. So January 17th, Washington, D.C., Lincoln Theater. You can always go to www.garyowen.live. That's where you should go to get any tickets to see me. Because I get people all the time hit me up saying, it's like $400. I'm like, well, that's a off website ticket buyer website. Don't do that. Go directly to the theater or go to my website, which is going to give you the correct link to tickets to see me. So www.garyowen.live. All my tour dates are on there. We got some more big announcements coming up, but one of them is January 17th, Lincoln Theater, Washington, D.C. Speaking of that area, the DMV area, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, D'Angelo passed away. Man, that I still think to be alive in the night. I'm sorry about that light just glaring up. I'm trying to find new spots so my background isn't as boring, but clearly this light isn't trying to help. Is that better? I think that's better. Oh, okay. That looks all right. I just got to keep my head in front of that light. Let me put it down like that. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. What a time to be alive when D'Angelo first popped on the scene. Brown Sugar. How does it feel? I'll tell you this. That's one of the easily top 10 videos of all time because it was so simple. How does it feel? When it started off, he would use ear and he was like, what's this video about? And then it's like the back of his head and it's the cornrows and his hair's all thick and silky. And then it comes around, it's just big, juicy lips. People are going to say, oh my God, why are they big and juicy? They were big and juicy. My mom's got big, juicy lips, and a lot of white people have big, juicy lips. But I'm just talking about what I used to hear girls say. Big, juicy lips, succulent lips. And then it goes down, and his chest is just ripped up like a freaking Ken doll. And then it goes down, his abs are popping, and he's got the little indention cuts in his hips. And I was like, what? Every time that video came on, I just felt like I really got to get my life together physically. Because he was just built like perfect. And then he's singing, yeah. Then they close it on his abs when he hits the, yeah. And you see the abs just constricting. I was like, okay. And the song just hit. It was all about the man asking the woman, how does she feel? How does it feel? Oh my God. That video was on rotation. Oh, those late 90s, man, early 2000s, such good memories. So when, I'm at an age right now where artists are passing away that I listened to in those formative years, like your teenage years and your early 20s, when you're just life is just, you're optimistic about everything because you got time. You got time to make things happen. You can take a chance and it not work out, but you still could I got time to recover. I don't have that time anymore. Luckily, I've made some good decisions in my life, but I don't have the time like that. There's no feeling like just like when you're a teenager and you meet a girl out and you go on your first date. There's nothing like that. I remember when living in Cincinnati, my teenage years, like sophomore, junior year of high school, there was on Sunday nights in the summer, there's a place called Caddy's. That's where everybody was at. And then during the summer on Fridays and Saturdays, there was a place called Surf Cincinnati. It was a water park, but they had a scene called Splash Dance where teenagers would come and just at nighttime, it was probably 8 to midnight or something. And a couple things I remember about going to Splash Dance a couple times. I always hung out, and I've said this before, I've always been a guy that hung out with guys that were really good looking. And then they meet girls. And then when the girls start talking to me and we start mingling, I was always the funny guy in the group. And they'd always be like, my girlfriend would like you. And I would always be thinking, why don't you like me? Why am I always getting the secondhand girls? One night we was at Splash Dance in Cincinnati. I'll never forget. I had these jean cutoff shorts and this blue button-down shirt that I buttoned up, but I tucked it in. That's how you used to wear it back then. Had some white K-Swisses. And we're just sitting there talking. And this girl just goes, "You want to dance?" And I went, "Huh? Okay." I'm with the normal guys I usually hang out with that always get the girls. Sorry, that light's really bothered me. And the girl asked me to dance. And I was like, oh, snap. So we danced. And my thing was when I was a teenager and even when I first got in the Navy, when I'm talking about my 18 to 21 years, I would always end up making out with girls on the dance floor. I don't know why. I thought I'm just going to go for it. End up making out with her that night at Splash Dance, kissing, French kissing. And then you exchange numbers, but this is before cell phones. This is when you had to call the house. There was no email. I'm dating myself, but you really it was harder to keep in touch. I'll put it like that. And I just remember I got her number, called a couple times, and I think she answered once or twice. I didn't really know how to talk to girls. I lived in a trailer park. I had no money. I had no car. I got nothing to offer. So what are we really doing right now? I just remember I wore that same outfit every time we went out that summer because I thought these jean cutoff shorts, this blue shirt, I don't know. It just makes me look good. And the girls like it. And I wore that every night. It's almost like when you go to a night, when you first get to a city, and you go to a nightclub and you might meet a girl at the nightclub and you might hook up. I don't know. She might be fine. You'll tell everybody, yo, this club's off the chain or this bar's off the chain. And then you go back there a couple more times like, yo, this bar kind of sucks. I just happened to meet a girl that night that was cool, but this bar sucks. Yeah, but with D'Angelo passing, it just took me back to my teenage years, my early 20s, and just good memories back then. Even when Brown Sugar came out, it was just that whole era, man. And God, what is in the water in Virginia to have Pharrell, D'Angelo, Chris Brown, Missy Elliott, Blackstreet. It's just there's so much talent in that Southern Virginia area. Talking about Norfolk, Virginia Beach, and Richmond. That whole area. I don't know what's in the water out there. What these people are drinking. I don't know. Is there guitar strings in the water? I don't know. But there's some talent coming out the 757, the whatever Richmond's area code is. 813 is 813 is Tampa, I think. Anyways, whatever the area code in Richmond is, Yeah, there's some talent coming out of there. But that really sucks. And then Angie Stone died. Now D'Angelo dies a year later, and they got a son. And he's out there handling it well. But, you know, that just sucks, man. But we're at that age. I remember Chappelle went on SNL a couple years ago, and they asked him why he did it. And he was like, you know, I think A Tribe Called Quest had an album or something coming out, and he wanted to have them as a musical guest. And he said, you know, we're at that age where you start losing people unexpectedly for various reasons. And, you know, if you can do anything to help them out or support them while they're here, you got to do that. So, yeah, just 51 years old. That guy is my age. It's wild. That's just wild to me. Yeah, just kind of sucks, but it took me back so many memories from back then. First getting to LA and first trying to find a place to live. I was living on Guy Torrey's couch the first year there. And that was a time, LA was different back then. There, you know, for me to be a young guy trying to, you know, make a name for himself, whether it be in movies, TV, stand up, whatever. The goal back then was to get on TV or in a movie, whatever it was, whether it's a drama, a comedy appearance, a sitcom appearance, it was whatever. And I had a lot of success early. And then it's like a big roller coaster. You know, I did Held Up within my first 4 months of actually moving to LA full time. I get Held Up with Jamie Foxx. I get the host job on BET, and I thought I'm off and running. And then I think it was 2.5 years before I got another movie after Held Up. Yeah, I think it was 2.5 years before I got another movie. Yeah, and that was a Daddy Daycare. Was the next movie I got. But you just the artist like D'Angelo, and it just brought back so many like great memories of that time in my life. Just running into celebs everywhere. I remember just first time I went up to the Comedy Store and I see Vivica Fox, and she's coming off what's the Will Smith one with not Armageddon, the 4th of July movie. Oh my God. Let me look it up real quick. Sorry. This is really gonna bother me. This is really showing my age. The fact that I can't remember what this movie's called. Independence Day. Oh my God. So she was coming off Independence Day. She was like the hot black actress, and I saw her out front of the Comedy Store, and I was like, oh my God, it's Vivica Fox. Just running into celebs I'd seen. It was and they used to be out back then. It wasn't, I don't know how it is in LA now, but the celebs was out. Like, nightclubs, lounges, comedy clubs, they was out. And I was more in Black Hollywood. So I'm seeing everybody. Shaq was always out. Magic. Kobe would come out sometimes. You know, Denzel. It's just, you know, and I used to go to the lot where Good News was taped. Good News was a sitcom on UPN. So Guy Torrey, I'm sleeping on his couch. Then he had this sitcom called Good News on UPN. We used to go there and eat because me and Guy's roommate, we ended up becoming roommates eventually, but we were broke. We didn't have nothing. So we got a chance to get some free food. We'd go to set. Guy would call us and tell us what his lunch was. We had a drive-on pass on the car. They'd let us on the lot. Pretty soon, once the gate guards get to know you, they don't care if you're coming there so much. But we used to just sit in Guy's dressing room. But there'd be other sitcoms being filmed, other movies being filmed. So I remember we were sitting on the set of Good News, and Samuel L. Jackson was shooting The Negotiator somewhere on the lot. And he came in and just sat down, home court, talking to about 5 people. And I was always very smart. I used to just fall back and just listen. I didn't like ever get introduced as, hey, this is Gary Owen, he's a comedian. Because I'd be like, what do you do with that? Then you're like, hey. I wanted to meet them on my merit, not being introduced as a comedian. They don't know who I am. So I'd always get real quiet when I'd be around like what I considered A-list actors or actresses, unless they saw me perform. So I remember when I met Vivica Fox, she was at the show. So I came up to her afterwards and I said, hey, do you mind if I get a picture? And she was like, oh yeah. She goes, I'm asking you for a picture pretty soon. I was like, she was just so cool. Same with Samuel. He was just sitting there, holding court. Remember, he sat with his legs crossed. It's funny that the crazy things you remember. I remember he was sitting, legs was crossed, and just talking 5, 6 people, other people was listening. He was like, and I was just like, I remember the whole time I was like, that's Samuel Jackson. I'm sitting right by Samuel Jackson. Just, oh my gosh. So many those are like the stories that I hold just close to me, because that time in my life, I was just like, God, I watch these guys on TV, and you want to call everybody back home. Like, you're not going to believe who I saw today. You're not going to believe who I was hanging out with. And when you talk about someone like D'Angelo, the Singers was out more than anybody else. Singers and athletes was out. Lakers, nobody really cared about the Clippers that much. I ain't gonna lie. But the Lakers was out. The Singers was out, because this is when like the BET Awards or the NAACP Awards or Grammys or anything, all you had to do, if you knew the door guys, you was good. Or go to Jerry's Deli right there off La Cienega, near the Beverly Center. That's all you do. And the Beverly Center by itself, you can go there during the day, it was jumping. But Jerry's Deli at 2 a.m. when the clubs closes was almost like the official after party on the weekends for award shows. You'd see everybody in there. But just a good time. So when he passed, like, I was in my car today listening to like all his music, and I was just like, man, it would just rush. All these memories were just rushing back of like my first year in LA, or when I was in San Diego. And it just hit me like 51. That doesn't seem old to me. When I was younger, I thought 51 was old as shit. But now I'm like, no, no, 50 is really not that old. Yeah, it just sucks. Just to think we lost like Chadwick Boseman and now D'Angelo, and they both like very young, and they just kept it real private. And that's a testament to their circle and who they surround themselves with, that nobody had any leaks. There wasn't any rumors or salacious stories that came out. It was a private battle with whatever they was battling, pancreatic cancer and stuff like that. It was just, yeah, it's a strong circle and a strong team, no matter how you put it. So, yeah. So rest in peace, D'Angelo. Music's going to live forever. And just, if anybody in his family ever sees this, thank you for the memories, because his songs just bring out just great times in my life. So yeah, I never met him. I saw him a couple times out. Never saw him perform live, but I saw him out. Like, you saw a lot of people when I first got to LA. You see a lot of people, but dude's short. I know he's shorter than I thought, but never got to chop it up with him or anything like that. So yeah, that was that. Hey, this podcast is brought to you by Zippix. You see it. Now this is my, I don't know. Yeah, this one's pretty good. The bourbon flavored. I really like this one. This one. Oh, this might be my one. The cinnamon spearmint flavored Zippix. Now here's the thing about Zippix. Look, I see you're like, how am I going to carry these packages around if I want to use Zippix? You don't have to. You can use these handy to-go cases. Put a couple toothpicks in here, and you're on the way. Now, listen, I know I just gave you like my favorites without giving you all the info, but let me give you the info about Zippix. Get your fix with Zippix Toothpicks. Save 10% by using code GETSOME at zippixtoothpicks.com. Do it today. Must be 21 years or older. This is why you got to use these things, people. Ditch the cigarettes, ditch the vapes, and get some nicotine-infused toothpicks at zippixtoothpicks.com. 10% off your first order by using code GETSOME at checkout. Must be 21 years or older. Warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix Nicotine Toothpicks. Here's a new one. I'm trying this one this week. the peppermint watermelon flavored. Can't wait. Hey, this podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Now listen, I'm all about the Cincinnati Bengals. Anytime I can do anything to show people I'm loyal to the soil. Listen, we got Joey Flacco now. Joey Burrow's coming back. You're dang right. Underdog Fantasy, get ready. When you see all those Bengal hits, it's coming from this guy right here. Now, all you have to do to get on this Bengal train, I ain't telling you what to do, but I'm telling you, hop on. Things about to change real soon in Cincinnati. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Chase Brown, those stats about to go up. Yeah, can you see I'm excited? Listen, all you got to do is download the app today and sign up for promo code GETSOME to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code GETSOME. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? I'll tell you how you can be next. Yeah, follow them Bengals. Underdog makes picks with money. Must be 18 years or older, 19 years or older in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 years or older in Colorado for some games, 21 years or older in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_HTML for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call 24/7 Hope Line at 1-877-8-HOPENY or text 467-369. Hey, this podcast is brought to you by Cash App. Now, I was late to the game. I ain't gonna lie. I kept hearing, you got Cash App? Can I get your Cash App? Can I use your Cash App? I got Cash App. I go, what the heck's Cash App? But now that I have it, now I know why. Because it is easy. It's so easy to use. I'm like, it's right there on your phone. It's an app. I'm like, oh, now I know why everybody's using Cash App. So now I have Cash App and I'm using it because it's easy. So very happy they're a part of this podcast because I like to use sponsors that I actually use. And Cash App is one of them. And if you think I'm lying, I can show it on my phone. That big green symbol, that big Cash App symbol. I love it. So listen, Cash App does more than you think when it comes to having your back and making sure your money stays your money. If you direct deposit at least $300 in paychecks each month and use the Cash App card for purchases, you can unlock up to $200 in free overdraft coverage. If you overdraft unexpectedly, there are no hidden fees. Manage your money on your terms and take advantage of free overdraft coverage of up to $200 on Cash App today. For a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use code CashApp10 in their profile at sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms do apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners, prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC, overdraft coverage provided by Cash App, A Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. And as always, thank you, Cash App, for being a part of my podcast. So let's shift gears. You can see I'm wearing the Bengals. As this podcast airs, they'll be playing the Steelers. I'm recording this before the game. This might be the season. If they can somehow pull this victory out against the hated Pittsburgh Steelers. I was going to go, but I've been so busy lately. I just want to watch it at the house and before I head to Columbus this weekend. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't know. It's really frustrating right now to be a Bengals fan in general, but we'll get through it. So I had an interesting episode at the gym the other day. So when I'm home, I work out either at this Lifetime Fitness or I go to this place called Congo. Now, this gym Congo in Houston, it's not for the faint of heart. Don't go in there bullshitting because first time I went, I threw up. because I was trying to impress them about a year and a half ago. I'm trying to do my thing. And if I could get on like a regular solid schedule, it'd be better. But, I'm traveling so much, and, you get off a plane and you got to spend time with the fam, and, you got the twins. So I just want to get home to them. And, you got to prioritize your health, obviously. But part of that, my mental health is seeing my boys and the family and everything. So it's a balance there. But Congo is like, they're on some other shit over there. They be working people out hard. And I don't try to cheat. I never try to cheat the process when I'm working out. So if they say do 20 reps, I try to do 20 reps, and I might have to stop for a second, but I go back and I finish. I might get 15. I got like the other day they had this shoulder workout they were doing where you hold one and then this one you're pumping, right? And it was like 10, 7. Ow. How did I just hurt myself? 7, and then 5. So I got the 10, got the 7, I got the 5. I had to stop for a second. But I always take pride in doing the amount of time. And then they got this god dang VersaClimber. I don't know if everybody knows what the VersaClimber is. I didn't know what it was till LeBron started using it. That is I think Satan made it. I think it's not fun. I don't care what kind of workout I do. If I get on that, I get wore out immediately. But if they say do 3 minutes, I do 3 minutes. I pace myself, but I get it in when I go. And they sometimes make fun of me like, you're a slow workout guy. I go, guys, I'm over 50. Give me a break. I'm not 25. I can't keep up with the young boys. I'm not a professional athlete because they got a lot of professional athletes that work out there. But I'm there for an hour and I go at my pace. But if you tell me to do something, I do it. So first time I went, I threw up. There's been times I've worked out and pushed myself and I've gotten lightheaded before. And I just sit down and take a breath and I get back to it. So here comes the embarrassing part. Woke up, I didn't eat anything. Didn't get a lot of sleep the night before. Got to admit, I got maybe 5 hours, but I'm just getting off a plane the day before too. So flying the day before, then I just go to the gym the next day, and I probably wasn't as rested as I should have. Grabbed a cup of coffee, and I drove over to Congo, and I start working out. About 30 minutes in, I don't feel right. I'm like, I'm getting lightheaded. Usually when I get lightheaded, I just take a seat and I gather myself. I'm talking to two of the trainers, and we always talk football. So we're talking about the Bengals, what we gonna do, and they said, I just started looking at them. I was like, so they just walked away. He's like, I guess you don't want to talk to us no more. Boom. Luckily, I sat on a mat, and another trainer, Dose, the head trainer of Congo, he caught me. So and I woke up and I go, yo, why are you holding me? And he was like, bro, you went down. I go, huh? I guess I said, I don't remember any of this. I sit up and he goes, Gary, you good? I said, yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Went down again. This time his sisters hold me because it's a family run business. But the one good thing, they got a good amount of trainers compared to clients. There's always like 6, 7, 8 trainers in there at all times. It's not a very big space too, so you can see what everybody's doing. Went down again. And now she's holding me. And I go, no, then I came to, I go, yo, why you hold me? And she goes, you're fine. Now I got a towel behind me. And I went, did I just pass out? And they're like, yeah. They go, dude. And then the other 2 trainers come over, they go, dude, we thought you were just like done talking to us because you just stared at us. And then you went down, passed out. And then I just remember, now I'm talking to him and I'm going, are you serious? I passed out? And, you start to get worried a little bit. Like, what happened? And they go, dude, we've seen this before. We've seen people puke, come back and work out. We've seen people get lightheaded, pass out. You see the stuff in the gym where the dude's squatting too much and just goes down. So anyways, they this is why I love this gym, man. And a couple of the trainers like really sat me on the couch. They put some electrolytes in my water. Started to feel better, but I was like, half of me was like, go back and finish your workout. The other half was like, bro, what are you doing? Your job is to tell jokes. It is not to be a bodybuilder or to be some physical specimen. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go home. And then they went and got me something to eat. They went and got me some eggs, some Greek yogurt, and some fruit. So I ate that and put the electrolytes in. I'm fine, but yeah, shouts out to everyone at Congo for taking care of me. That was embarrassing. And then you just see all the guys you was just working out with because their circuits, they're still going. I was just like, you heartless motherfuckers. So now I got to go back. I'm going to go back next week. But yeah, I'll be a little embarrassed when I see the people that saw me just, here's what I'm glad of. I'm glad I was sitting down. I'm glad I wasn't standing up and went down. I felt me getting a little lightheaded. So I just sat down, took some deep breaths, and then just, so when I say I passed out, it just kind of went down a little bit. But I just remember I'm sitting there, I'm looking up, I see Dose, I see his sister, and I said, what happened? And now we're talking, and Dose has got this big dog that's always in the gym. The dog was licking my legs. So my legs are up, and I go, hey, is there a dog licking my leg? Or am I imagining that right now? Because if not, I'm really messed up. They go, no, our dog's licking your leg. I go, all right. But yeah, I was a little scared. So, anyways, I called my doctor, obviously. And my doc just immediately called it. He was like, did you have anything to eat? I said, nope. He was like, he probably a little dehydrated. He goes, did you have some coffee? I go, yep. He goes, okay. And then he tried to explain to me your blood sugar level is jumping and all this other stuff, like a bunch of doctor talk that I just was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That I can't repeat or comprehend. I was all right, but he called it. He said, you traveling? Then he was like, you probably didn't get a lot of sleep. You got up early, went to the gym, didn't eat anything. And then you had some coffee. So you're, everything, caffeine, you're stimulated, blood sugar levels, all this other stuff. Because once I ate, I was good. The younger me would have went back and finished up, but the older me was like, nah. I'm thinking, you go to these gyms and you don't ever want to be embarrassed, but there's been a couple times I've had some embarrassing moments. When I lived in San Diego, when I was in the Navy, there was a powerhouse gym, and it was like one of those Roy gyms. Everybody in there was just big bodybuilder looking dudes. And a couple things I remember about that powerhouse gym in Imperial Beach, California. This one Mexican guy could bench more than anybody. And he benched like this. Like most people bench like this. He had his hands underneath and he would bench. And his arms, he had a big chest, big belly, and his arms were short. So his bench was like, ba-doom, ba-doom. I got these long arms. I said, well, that's not fair. I just remember trying to do too much. I put 3 plates on either side. I'm like, 21, 22 at the time. I got it. So put 315 on there. I was like, yeah, got it once. And I went, oh, that felt easy. I'm going to go for another one. No, you're not. I couldn't get it. I remember the gym was so empty. I was like, help. Hey, bro. This one brother came up and got it. And I had the you got the weights on there, but then you got the locks, the little clasps that go in there. If I didn't have the clasp, I could have just dumped it. But I was stuck. I was stuck for probably a good 30 seconds. And when you're on the bench like that, that shit feels like 2 hours. And I could just, and mama, people got their headphones and they're not paying attention. They just think I'm holding it. I'm like, nah, I need some help here. Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. I always worry about that when I bench press. Like, you don't want to put too much on, and then you're and then you can't get it up and you're stuck. Pause. You can't get the weights up and then you're stuck. I'm thinking, was there any other like embarrassing weight room things? Nah. That might have been it. I think, yeah. That might have been it. I think that's it. Now, I will say, I don't care what Lifetime Fitness you go to. The old men are very confident at Lifetime Fitness gyms. They be walking around just naked, bad bodies, sagging skin. They don't care. I've never been that guy. I'll never be that guy. I don't get it. What kills me, and this may gross some people out, and I don't know if it's worse in female gyms, maybe the ladies can comment on this. I don't know. But with the male gyms, I can't stand it when a guy will be getting ready for work or something and he's shaving butt naked. At a public gym, you're shaving and your fucking balls are right on the sink or right there and your pubes just like grazing the sink. I'm like, what is going on right now? Seriously, get it together. I'm just like, I never want to be that confident. Now, when I was in LA, I used to work out at this YMCA in Burbank. That might have been the worst. No. The two gyms, and I don't know if it's California. I don't know. It's so liberal, but Northern California, the Bay Club in Pleasanton, California. I don't know what's going on there, but these dudes be getting in the hot tub and the sauna, butt naked. I go, what are we doing right now? I mean, put some swim trunks on, anything, but don't go in public saunas. I'm not sauna. Don't go into public jacuzzis butt naked. Come on. And then in the saunas, I'm like, they're just sitting there, just out. I'm like, what? I don't want to be in there with you. I just be getting out. But that YMCA in Burbank used to have a pool table in it in the men's locker room. And there was these old men that would go in there and shoot pool butt naked. They'd get out of the shower, the sauna, and they just be like, shooting pool and leaning over, and you see like a ball at the bottom coming out. I'm going, what? Okay. I would bring my bag, because at that time I used to hoop at that gym. I used to bring everything, so I never had to go into my locker room. Never. You see one ball sagging at a pool table, that's one ball too many. I just was like, what is the deal with the old men shooting pool in the men's locker room butt naked? Like, put some shorts on. Anything. But yeah, that was the worst. That YMCA in Burbank back in the day, that pool table. Anybody was there back then. You know what's crazy about that YMCA? And I forgot about this. And my buddies, the whiners, told me this. They was like, yo, when I was stand up and I first got there, I invited Corey Holcomb, Kevin Hart, D. Ray Davis. They was reminding me last time I saw them of all the guys I had come down and play hoops at that YMCA in Burbank, California. And I said, I forgot about that, because I had the membership. So they'd show up and they just come walk in with me. You know, like I said, you're cool with front desk people. That's all you got to do is get cool and they'll let you in. But I forgot all those comedians that I invited to come play hoops, and they come down and hoop with me. And then again, rush back to a bunch of memories. It's like, man, I forgot about all that. So yeah. So anyways, guys, January 17th, film my next special, No Hard Feelings, in Washington, D.C. at the Lincoln Theater. And like I said, for those of you that always complain about ticket prices, go to my website, www.garyowen.live. And my ticket links are the right ticket links to the shows. So you don't have to worry about going to these third-party sites that buy tickets and resell them for 3 times the amount. And now, if the show's sold out and you can only get resale tickets, I can't do nothing about that. Because I get people all the time like, hey, Gary, you taxing like that? $400 a ticket? I go, I don't know what you're talking about. My tickets aren't $400. But if the show's sold out, all you can get is resale. I can't do nothing about that. But what I can do is give you enough time to get the tickets in advance. So, like I said, just go to my website. Make it easy. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. This is Gary with the Get Some Podcast.
This motherfucker Gary.